There we go. Now we have a drink. Face isn't as red. And we still have massive bags under our eyes. Good luck. What are you wearing? Exhausted. And I angle this. Is that just my screen? It is. Just go back far enough. I can't. I have crazy eyes. Whatever. Hello, and welcome to the Once Upon a Corgi Podcast. This is a Crafty Puppy podcast coming to you from Southern Connecticut. I'm your host, Gabby. You can find me everywhere online as Gabigales and on my hand-dyed yarn at Once Upon a Corgi. Thank you so much to all returning viewers for coming back, and hello and welcome to all new viewers for checking us out. Most of our show notes can be found on the groups in our Ravelry group, Once Upon a Corgi podcast on Ravelry. What, bud? Do you want me to? You have to bring it closer. That's not closer. That's just a pair of. Oh, it's the grossest tennis ball. Iron has brought you his tennis ball early today. I don't know where he found it, but it's this one. And it's got a nice little halo of dog hair on it. This is episode 69, and it is June 13th. Audrey's giving me a very judgmental look right now. And we actually have a little bit to show you, and Audrey just trampled all of it. We have a couple things to get into before we get into the making. First of all, I was totally mistaken last week. The rules Sakal ended May 30th. I said June 30th, so I'm going to extend it to June 30th. Really post surprise in the Ravelry thread. I have no idea what happened with this whole knit along. So if you want to join, you just have a chance. And if you have already finished them and posted in the thread, there's just going to be one thread for chatter and finished objects. You're all set. So that's that. I think that's it for administrative stuff. We do have some events coming up. The I-91, is it 91 or 90? I-90? I think it's 91. The 91 Shop Hop is happening not this weekend, next weekend, June 20th. Man, I should get dates. I'll put them down. The I-91 Shop Hop is happening mid-June, and I will be attending that with Adrian and Mama Gergs. While that is happening, Once Upon a Corgi Yarn will be at Knit New Haven, in New Haven on, I believe it's Whitney Ave. And I'm super excited. I stopped by this week to sit and knit and chat with Linda, the owner of Knit New Haven, and it was delightful. So we're going to host a trunk show during the shop hop of my yarn, and I'm super excited. It's probably one of my favorite yarn stores. It's so well curated, and it's got the cozy feel that makes you just want to sit there and knit for hours. And it's also next to an adorable crepe restaurant, so that's amazing too. So that is happening. I will be dropping the yarn off on Monday, and the trunk show will start Thursday and go through Sunday, I believe. And all the information will also be in, I have a newsletter for my shop, so if you go to the website, you can sign up there and get all the extra information. And I think that's it. We had a trunk show at Stitch in Time in Bethel, and that went really well last weekend. And then after this is SSK in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm super excited. But that's all shop stuff, so we'll go into that later. All right, what am I wearing? I am wearing my So Faded pullover by Andrea Mowry. In the top three colors are Franco Phoenix, which is now Cardinal Fiber Co., I believe. And the darkest color is La Bien-Aimée. I don't have all the names on me. I know the top is Sunset on the Seine. I'll make a project page one day, I swear. I love it. I'm a little sad because I washed it with my Wendy pullover, which is out of Hedgehog Fibers in the Pollen colorway, and it bled a little bit. Like, I washed them together before, they've never bled, but now it bled, and I just have you can't see it. It's not that bad. It's worse on the inside, but there's just splotches of yellow now. I don't know. I'm gonna wash it in unicorn fiber stuff, because that really gets stuff clean. So I'm hoping that'll pull some gunk out. But I love it. I'm glad it's cool enough today that I can wear this. All right, so let's get into the making. Audrey, are my projects super comfortable? Are you really happy where you are right now? I have a hoe this week. Oh, I should have brought a sock blocker over. That would have been smart. Whatever. I have one hoe to show you this week, and that is my Hermione's Everyday Sock by Erica Luter. This is out of My Hand-Dyed Yarn in the colorway Blood Moon on my Isaac base, which is 100% superwash Polworth. And there we go. I love this sock. I love the way it came out in this colorway. I don't know why I've never knit this pattern before. UPS just dropped off a bunch of stuff. What was I saying? I had a hoe. Where is it? Yes, I finished a sock. I did 64 stitches on my ChowGoo 2.25 millimeter needles, and I did a regular eye of partridge, heel, and gusset. I just wanted something traditional, and my squishy rounded toe. I did cast on the second one. I finished the first sock while I was at Knit New Haven, and I cast on the second one and did the cuff and started the pattern. So this is now going to get set aside for SSK as my vending sock, because I can knit it and talk to people and throw it down and not lose my spot. So I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of time to knit at SSK, but just in case. And that is living in my Good to Be a Girl project bag, which is probably one of my favorite ones, because who doesn't love angry Victorian ladies who are knitting? I don't know what they're knitting, but I love it. I don't have any other socks to show you. I did work on my movie sock, but it's still a tube, so I'll show you when it's done because it's just a tube. What, bud? Do you have anything to show them? Did you finish the sock? Oh. Is this the same tennis ball? It's the same tennis ball. Our next work in progress, you have not seen in a while, but I have made some moves on it. And that is my Branches and Buds pullover by Carrie Bostic-Hodge. And it is from Lane Making? One of the two. It's adorable and I love it. I'm knitting it out of Blacker Yarn's Brushwork, which was their like birthday yarn. Does it say? It does, 12th birthday brushwork. In the colorways Impasto and Scumble. Yep, so these two colorways. And I cast this on as my birthday knit and recently finished the sleeves. Yay! So I did the yoke and then knit the sleeves because I wanted to make sure I had enough yarn for full length sleeves, because I only bought 7 balls of the this green color, and they're 50-gram balls, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be fine, but I just wanted to make sure. So now we have this, and this is going to be set aside basically until SSK for the drive down. So we're driving down, I think we're leaving Thursday night, and we're just gonna try and get past New York and DC during the night so we miss all of the traffic. And it's a 16 and a half hour drive. So I will have plenty of knitting time. Knitting and napping. We're gonna try and do it all in one straight shot and get there by Friday night. Yeah, we'll see. It depends on how early we leave Thursday, which depends on the traffic in New York. But I love this sweater. I love this yarn, and I've already started knitting on it, and I can't stop. I love it. I'm so excited for it. It's going to be one of my Rhinebeck sweaters because it's adorable. I don't know if I'm gonna do the buds bit on it. I kind of just like it as is. I haven't tried it on yet, but I have sort of like fake put on the sleeves, which I knit 2 at a time just to make sure they were the right length. And I did add about an inch to their length because I just have freakishly long arms because I am a giraffe woman. But you know what, that's fine. And I think I did the cuffs. I think I did 2 inches, and it just calls for like 1.5 inches on the cuffs. So this is where they should, they'll go a little bit, not much longer after blocking, but there we go. I'm very happy. I think this is going to be good walking around length, and I can still like tug it up over my hands if I want to and easily push them up, which is what I usually do. Oh, wearing this, it's so nice. I wish I could just wear a sweater like this. I'm so excited for it now. Now I just want to knit on it. I love it. I love this yarn. If you ever have the chance to work with Blackberry yarns, I highly recommend it. I know the Woolly Thistle, which is based out of New Hampshire and has a lot of UK-based stuff, carries it, and it's not too pricey, especially for like a small project, because it comes in 50-gram balls. You could definitely do like colorwork cowl or hat just to test it out. I love it. I would highly recommend it. I don't know what else to say about this besides I want to live in a bodysuit of this with a lining of buffalo. I haven't like looked at it in so long. It makes me so happy. And I'm using my burrito stitch marker from Sucra. There we go. And it is living in my Madder Root bag. It's the perfect bag for it. Hold on, bud. So we're gonna put that away before we just start knitting on it forever and ever. What else do we have? We have mostly worked on our design shawl, which I'm not gonna show you because we're pretty close to finishing it, which I'm very impressed with. I'm almost at the edging. I think I have like one more setup row that I have to finagle. And then we're just gonna do one more swatch and get it out to a tech editor, and I'm hoping by mid-July to put out a call for test knitters for it. But we did name the yarn. I can show you the yarn. It's living in my Mrs. Brown's bag. And I am knitting out of Once Upon a Corgi yarn on my penny base in the colorway Field Mice and Flower Crowns. So there we go. I love it. I'm definitely gonna knit a second one of these, and I don't usually knit two shawls, but I want to knit it in a darker color and try adding beads. So I'm not gonna put beads in the initial pattern, but I think I might just do an update later on with the beads. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. It's been a struggle, but I'm really glad where it is right now. I'm very proud of it. So that has been mostly what I've been working on. But I did have to cast on a new Tuesday night knit group project. So I did the only sensible thing and tangled my everything. Tangled it all. Did the only sensible thing and cast on a new shawl because all I want to knit is sweaters. So I will show you the yarn first. I am using my hand-dyed yarn in the Lady of Shalott. Ooh, that's a stitch marker. The Lady of Shalott colorway, which is one of our Women of Ballads, on the Marie Cutie base. I'm knitting it on the Marie Cutie base and our fig lace, which I love. It's 70% kid mohair, 30% silk. And I am knitting the Birds of a Feather shawl by Andrea Mowry. I've seen it knit up a couple times, and I wanted something to show off the mohair before I start holding it double with stuff, so then people kind of get like a little swatch of it. And we are at underwear stage, almost at utero, but you know, I love it. I'm knitting it on 4mm needles, my Knitter's Pride Nova Platina, according to the pattern, and I just finished the first mohair section, and look at it. Oh, I'm so happy with it. It feels so luscious, and just like, it looks like it would just be so, like you could just like stick your fingers through it, but the amount of like halo just sort of creates this little barrier. Oh my God, I can't stop. Knitting it last night in knit group was also magical because you like unwind a little bit of the cake and then the yarn just floats down. I love it so much. I mean, as you can see, I also adore Andrea Mowry. I love all of her patterns. Her and Helen Stewart and Mina. Just can't stop. Every time they post anything, I just want to cast it on. And most of the time I do. I love it. I love it so much. I love the way the colors are turning out and the difference between the mohair and the Marie Cutie. This base does hold speckles really well, so I love the difference between such stark color changes and then like the more watercolor of the fig lace. And I'm using one of my Corner of Craft Cloud Progress Keepers from our Volca sock kit. I love it. I love it so much. So this is going to be my Tuesday knit group knitting project. And it is living in my Erin Lane bag of my Harry Potter sheeple. I'm sure it will outgrow it quickly, but until then. I've only been working on it for a couple days. I'm just gonna keep holding it up because it's beautiful and I love it. I don't have it here, but I do have I have 2 knit groups because you can't have too many. In my Saturday morning knit group, I am now working on a baby blanket for Mohair Fuzz. One of the ladies in the Tuesday group, her daughter is having her first baby, so I'm going to knit a baby blanket out of some hand spun, and I have it cast on, but that's literally it. So it just looks like a mess of needles and hand spun right now, but I will show that when I get some rows on it. And I'm going to do just I think it's called like a star or a swirl blanket. It's gonna be circular, it's gonna be giant, it's gonna be squishy. That's all that matters. And it's gonna be machine washable. Is that it? I think that's it for our knitting, which isn't too bad. We have a little bit of sewing, not much. I had just an awful day of everything going wrong. It was like Saturday. No, it was Sunday. Sunday, just like the design wasn't working, the charts weren't lining up, the sewing machine kept eating it was just an off day. So I put everything aside and essentially just went to bed. But I did work on my Ariel skirt by Tilly and the Buttons. And I have attached it's all pinned right now. I've attached the waistband and do not judge my lining right now. I'm using scraps of interfacing, but whatever. I've attached the lining, which is just a non-stick or non-static lining from Joann's, and some iron-on interfacing. And I'm getting ready to attach it to the skirt, but as you can see, my lining is massive. I don't know what I did. I cut that. I don't even think usually I true up 2 different sizes, but because it's a skirt, I don't need to do that as much because my waist to hip ratio falls in line with the pattern versus my bust to waist to hip. My bust to waist doesn't usually with dresses. I usually have to do a larger size for the waist and a smaller size for the bust, but with skirts, I didn't have to do that. But it's just so much bigger. There's so much extra fabric. I think what I'm gonna do is just trim the extra lining fabric and line them up from the center and go out. It still fits, I can still wrap it around and have enough room for the closures, so I don't know. I just must have traced something out wrong or didn't do enough. I might not have used enough seam allowance, used up all the seam allowance, but that's still a lot. That's so much fabric. Oh, whatever. I just really want this skirt and we're gonna do it. It's still fully lined, it's still gonna hold together, everything is still strong. It's just gonna be a little extra fabric. And this is just a black floral that I got at Affordable Fabrics in Rocky Hill, Connecticut, where everything is $2.99 a yard and my happy place. I don't know when I'm gonna get to work on this. I wanna say tonight, but I also really wanted it on my shawl. We will see. Yeah, and I've got lots of dreams for summer sewing. I just need to sit down and go through all my fabric and start putting things aside with the pattern and then just have a giant cutout day. I think that's what I need to do. And that's been it for making. We did not cross stitch this past week because I slept funny on my neck and tweaked something in it, and so I couldn't really move on Thursday or Friday because I slept too hard. So we canceled cross stitching, but we are doing it this week, so we will have more of that, and we're both looking at different embroidery projects. So if you have any recommendations for embroidery kits or beginner things, please let me know. I have just been perusing Etsy and seeing what cool things they have there. All right, the rest of this episode is going to be shop stuff and life stuff. I don't think I have anything else to show you. I have not acquired anything as of recently. I almost did, but then talked myself out of it because I'm saving up all my yarn money for the year for Rhinebeck and SSK. Mostly SSK because I am going to destroy the stranded booth. I'm just gonna buy everything. One of each. I I can't wait. I'm so excited. I haven't even looked at the other vendors. I'm just so excited to see Amy's yarn in person. If you're not here for shop update, thank you so much for watching. And if you are, let us get into it. We are going to have a shop update this Thursday at onceuponacorgi.com at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have already updated all of the fingering weight stuff from the Bethel trunk show, so everything is updated and in the shop. Some stuff has gotten moved around as we took some stuff out of the shop for the trunk show for Knit New Haven and put some stuff back in, just sort of switching bases around. So this is the stuff that's going to go up on Thursday that's not in the shop yet. Oh god. It's basically everything but fingering weight. So we will have a fig lace update. There's only going to be one of each. I have ordered a lot of the mohair lace, so I'm going to start prepping for SSK with it and also start doing updates of like 2 colorways, 2 of each colorway for it kind of thing. So right now there's only 1 of each, so get them while they're hot. And we will have Nose Stuck in a Book. This is actually in the shop already because I posted it on Instagram and I wanted it to be available instead of posting and then saying you can't have it. Hedwig, Warm and Cozy, Mavatone, Dream Kitchen, and Nightmares Plus 10, which I love how this dyed up. The tonals, I don't even like, it's so weird how they were doing it. Like now the Warm and Cozy's got a little bit of this green poking out of it, which I think is super nice. It just sort of adds like this extra depth to all the red and maroon in it. And then this guy, you just get like little hints of blue everywhere too. I love it. I love it so much. So these will go up in the shop. Ta-da! And we are going to bring a ton of it to SSK. What else will be going up in the shop is some Volca sock kits from the trunk show. So it will be Hedwig and Something Sinister, and there will be Penny and Ginger. So these will go up. We will have some Let's Just Run Away, not in the tweed base, that I found hidden in a bin somewhere. So we will have it on Oliver and Marie Cutie. And we found one wild skein on Isaac. So this will also go in the shop. So that's it for fingering weight. Now my bucket's all organized. For DK weight, oh my head looks so tiny now though. Whatever. For DK weight, we will have, this is our Isaac DK. It's non-superwash Polworth and silk. We'll have Like My Cold Dead Heart. Trying to keep the bucket organized. Especially for you, Warm and Cozy. We will have some wild skeins, Narnia. I think that's it. And there are sweater quantities of Narnia, Warm and Cozy, and Like My Cold Dead Heart. For the Cecil base, which is our 100% BFL Aran weight base, I think they're mostly all sweater quantities. There's at least 2 to 6 of each one. Palace of Dreams, sorry. My Dear Abigail. Dark Like My Soul. Twilight is fine, even better actually. And I think that's it. Yep, I think everything else is in the trunk shoe. So that is our little hodgepodge of our update this week. I'm not sure what's gonna go on with next week because we are dyeing a bunch for the trunk show because it is a 4-day trunk show. We might not have an update next week, but there are still tons of stuff in the shop. So I'm just gonna keep posting like color combinations and stuff like that to give you guys some ideas. Because I know it's a little bit hard to try and pair things when it's just a giant list. We're gonna put this. And we have been putting out some polls for mostly like vending information, whether you guys want a bunch of bases with a couple little skeins of each one or fewer bases with more skeins of each colorway. So we're going to do fewer bases with more skeins for upcoming shows. So I'm going to limit it to 4 fingering weight bases, maybe 5. 4 fingering weight bases of like everything. Or Tesla is our BFL silk and cashmere base, so that will have some of the colorways, but not all of them, and not as many. Iron will just have the cozy line, so we'll try and have a full cozy line for vending. And then we will see 4 heavier weight bases, and we're going to try and get at least 2 of each fig lace for the colorways for future vending things. I hope that made sense. We also put a couple polls out about what bases you want to see. Mostly like, do you want to see more breed specific, or do you want to see more of the classic merino, single ply, MCN, sparkle kind of thing? The ginger and penny base are our best sellers, so we're obviously going to bring those, but then choosing between Oliver, Marie Cutie, Audrey, Isaac is sort of, it's hard to tell what people want, so we're just gonna put polls out for each one. So thank you so much for participating in those. They're a fantastic help. And thank you so much for supporting the shop and the website, and I hope to see you guys at the update this week. So that's it for the crafting. The rest of this is life stuff, which is going to be pretty short and sweet. Again, not a lot has been happening. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work planning and prepping for the next couple of months, because we do have SSK, and we're probably going to bring the most yarn we've ever brought to a show there. And we're really hoping this is gonna like kick off the into the fall vending season, but also because we are essentially going on vacation immediately afterwards. So we are staying in Nashville through Tuesday after SSK, and then I'm going up to Vermont and New Hampshire. We're getting home Wednesday, and then I think Thursday I'm leaving for Vermont, and I'm coming back Sunday night, maybe Monday morning. So I want to make sure that everything's all set, and then we just go straight into prep for the Western Connecticut Yarn Crawl, whatever October shows we do, New England Fiber Festival, and then whatever December shows we end up doing. So we're planning out the rest of the year, which is really weird to say. So yeah, that's really been it. It's just been a lot of work planning, a lot of like house reorganizing. I did officially take over our, we don't have like a breakfast nook, but we have a breakfast bar attached to our kitchen, so I officially took over that. I put an 8-foot table there, and we now have dyed yarn and a labeling station, and I think it's gonna turn into my shipping station instead of at my desk. I'm taking over the whole house. So that's been that, and then we're trying to reorganize our closet and just get everything more streamlined, because like any 12-year-old boy, just pile all my clothes on top of the dog kennel and then wonder why nothing's clean and I can't find anything and why do I only have one sock kind of situation. So we're gonna try and be adults and, improve our closet life and our overall life. So that's really that. It's probably because I've been listening to this podcast called Forever 35. It's 2 friends who love to talk about serums and self-care and joyous things like that. It's a lot of they'll have intentions like, oh, I want to clean out 2 kitchen cabinets this week. But when I get super stressed out, I also like to make pasta and paint my nails. They do a lot of great interviews with mostly other women who are authors or facialists or experts in whatever kind of field they do. They've done a lot of book authors. It's delightful. They cover, I don't know how to describe this. I feel like they cover big topics in lighthearted manners, which I think is something that we all need sometimes, because you do want to discuss, saying no to stuff and making yourself feel less stressed about what other people are expecting of you when you don't have to do what they're asking kind of thing. But then also talking about the Container Store and label makers. So I highly recommend it. That was a terrible description of it. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Not like they watch this podcast. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. I have a bunch of stuff to go dye. I don't know what's happening. This is what happens when you only have 1 cup of coffee and you try to podcast. Oh God, what am I doing? Thank you so much to everybody who supports the shop and supports the podcast. Yeah, we reached over 3,000 subscribers, which I don't usually pay attention to the number, but it sort of popped up in my email the other day. So thank you so much to everybody who subscribes. I don't usually ask for subscribers because this is the fun thing that I like to do. So if you subscribe, great. If you don't, great. But thank you so much to everybody who supports all of this and watches And we will see you next week, hopefully with a less rambly plan. So